This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you are encouraged to like and share them on Facebook. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce. Right across from City Hall. I'm sorry.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Well, you're all excited to get in here because
That's right.
things are hopping at the store.
Go.
Here's Joanne Augusto, your host.
Hey. Yeah, we need more applaud music. Yay.
Actually, we're getting the multi-seating studio audience is being constructed right now.
Nice.
And you go to the
you
upstairs.
like the Price is Right?
In the balcony up there.
Yeah,
you see
there
the balcony?
go.
That's where all of our fans will be up there in the balcony. Ceiling fans.
We'll have different rooms, the green room, the blue room, the white room.
The red
Awesome.
room.
Well, hey, everyone. Happy Thursday. Holy schmoly, is it bright and sunny out this morning. I was just doing a few runs for the store for, because I'm the janitor too, the owner and the janitor. So I'm emptying garbage and I'm like, whoo, I'm sweating already. It's only 8 a.m.
Multitasking is...
Multitasking, yes, multitasking.
I'm trying to encourage the whole world to do that. The productivity would increase everywhere.
All right, let's not get off topic
That's
now.
right.
All right.
You
so
need to be
here we
healthy.
go.
You need to be healthy.
So today's topic is pretty much everything and anything. I have a lot of things on my mind, which all my audience knows that happens to me frequently. So I want to get all these little points across that are on my mind and I get asked about quite frequently. So this is the perfect show to call in and ask some questions. 340-1590. I don't really care as long as it's about nutrition, health, anything. So this is the perfect show to call in and ask some questions. 340-1590. I don't really care as long as it's about nutrition, health, anything to do with the body and the mind, I'm good with.
Anything that's ever been brought up on the show before.
Yeah, or new things. I wouldn't mind new things. I love, even if I don't know the answer, I would love start and research something new. After all these years, sometimes this stuff gets a little everyday-ish.
Oh, yeah, and we can't always Google everything. Sometimes we need to talk to somebody who knows something.
Yes, well, that's the whole thing. It's
Wikipedia is
just
great,
based on my research and my opinion, but at least it can open the door for a conversation, and you can go from there. But we need to get our breathing exercise in. I can't start the show without it. So any newbies just tuning in, this is just a simple breathing exercise we do at the beginning of every Thursday morning show. But I would love for you to be doing it all day long on your own. It's free, available to all, and has amazing health benefits that actually have been studied. How funny is that? So what we do, Cliff is the expert counter. So we are going to only use our nose. We are not using our mouth. We're going to breathe in for 5. We're going to hold for 5. We're going to exhale for 5. And we're going to do that a few times to get us centered, focused, our energy up, our blood pressure down. And remember, the more oxygen you have through breathing, the better the cells act and the better the immune system is. So it's a win-win-win. So if you're driving, keep your eyes open. If you're at home, relax. Exhale out all the junk of your brain. And let's get started. So here we go.
All right, let it all out.
I'm ready. And if you want to tap your fingertips as we go, it really helps the calming and centering process.
Okay, stand by. Now let it all out. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. One big breath all the way in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Joanne is levitating in the studio.
Woo! Oh, as Greg walks by making fun, I'm gonna have a discussion.
You'll win him over. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. I'll chat with him after. So everybody, there he is again. Go back in your office where you belong. Go ahead.
No, here's what happens is people get curious And they come and they peek into your store in the arcade building.
Yes,
They
I
wonder,
do get a lot of those people. What is this place?
Yeah,
What's
what
going
is
on in
this?
here?
I've had nuns treat me like that.
Oh,
Oh, wait, do I need to get out a ruler and, okay, that's a whole nother show. Here we go.
no, but that was to make him eat his potatoes.
Wow, we are so on fire today. We got a lot of energy in this
Oh,
studio,
yeah.
boy. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
breathing did help me focus a little bit.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed.
Sometimes you might need
So-
to do that anyway due to all the drama all around us all
Oh
the
yeah.
time.
Well, the one thing too, we got to lighten up. We got to laugh and not take everything so seriously. It's hysterical because this morning was a perfect example of how to really stay cool, calm, collected, because I went into work an hour and a half early to surprise my employee Jen that the store will be all clean and pretty and organized, because yesterday we had such a busy day. It was a little out of sorts, and that I would have time for show preparation, all that good stuff. Well, we had customers coming in at 8 a.m. We don't open till 9:30, and they saw me buzzing around, so bam, I was swamped, and then the credit card server went down. So
Oh, no.
it was just so much fun, everybody, let me tell you. But here I am, and we do have some exciting things to tell you about today. But, of course, this is such... Oh, and we are closed for Memorial Day, everyone, just so you know. So Monday, Memorial Day, we will be closed. And Saturday we will be open normal hours, which is 11 to 3. So and we do have a Memorial Day special that is for only radio show listeners, and that is, instead of the normal 10%, they get 20% off. But there is an exception to the rule, and that is our CBD oil products. They only get 10% off for veterans. So 10% off for veterans only, but all other products, 20% off if you mention the Memorial Day special from the radio.
The doctors are starting to discover the CBD oils.
They are, but that's, Cliff, it's
Yeah.
one of the things I really need to cover in
Right.
detail today. Even though I had a few weeks ago a CBD oil show, I need to stress something, because one of my customers that came in today asked 3 questions.
Okay.
And I knew that and she's a listener, so I knew I needed to make this clear again.
Okay.
Number 1, quality matters more than you can imagine with this product.
Okay.
So again, if you're not able to get to my store, that's fine. But please be very careful where you buy your product from. You can check SunBiz or other websites to see how long a company has been around, where they get their product from, if they batch test, what solvents they use. It's critical. Do not just Google online CBD and pick the first one that flashes up. Those are the people that are really internet savvy, that have skills to put them on the top of the search engine. It doesn't mean their product is any good. They could be sitting in their room and their stuff is coming from the garage and it's just soy oil.
You don't want to use
please.
the old hemp oil that was in your grandfather's machine shop.
No, exactly. So please, please, please go to a reputable store that you have a relationship with them, so you know they're picking good. I waited 2 years, and I didn't care about the loss of income because I had to find someone that I could trust. It's treating very serious things like cancer, anxiety, serious pain or opiate dependency issues, Parkinson's, epilepsy. When you're dealing with these very serious issues, you do not want to mess around and put propylene glycol or other dangerous solvents or chemicals into your body, or gosh forbid, spend $100 on junk. Yeah. So please really look into it. And the other thing that I'm getting so much feedback about is pets. In case the listeners didn't understand or hear it the other day, CBD oil is extremely effective for pet health, for general pet health. So if the dog or the cat has, actually most of my experience is from dogs because I'm a dog person, so I'm not really sure about the cats, but for sure The dogs do so well if they have social anxiety or weather issues, and we've been having some crazy weather, and I heard that another weather system's coming. You know, I never watch the news, as everyone knows that listens to me regularly. I'm not a news girl, but I get tidbits from my phone, so I guess the storm's coming, so I know sometimes our animals really get stressed during this time.
We're watching something in the Gulf.
Oh, we're watching something? Okay. So CBD oil, definitely an extreme benefit for them to calm them down, or if they have pain from hip issues or anything, or cancerous tumors. It's not just good for us, it's good for them. And I do have a brochure that's really detailed at the store that shows exactly how much you give to the different size dogs and how the receptors work. Like, for instance, there's what they call CBD1, CBD2, and then CBD1 and 2, and it shows what the different CBDs or cannabinoids work on. For instance, CBD2 is for spleen, bones, skins, parts of the brain. So if you have, your pet has a lot of skin issues, which I know my 3 dogs, it's like skin all the time, stuff going on. That would be the CBD2. So you want to make sure you get a whole spectrum that has all the different CBDs in it. The other thing I want to mention too is that this has trace amounts, if any, of THC. So it is not considered illegal or a drug. A customer this morning said, "Oh, I'm going to the airport. Can I bring it with me? Are the dogs going to, jump me?"
Oh,
And
good
she was
question.
being completely serious.
Yeah.
So don't worry. The THC amount is non-traceable. And you will not get stopped. It is not illegal. And so the ones in my store are batch tested, and you can be reassured you are not taking a drug. The next thing I want to mention too is dosing. So much misinformation about there with dosing because no one really has an exact dose because every product is different. So I always say start with less. See if you get relief. The objective is to get relief from whatever is concerning you. So just do a little, wait a few days, and then if you're not getting the results you need, take a little more. It really is safe, so you don't have to worry, but why waste your money and take extra, and then all of a sudden you don't know if less would have worked and your budget would have been spared a few dollars. So keep that in mind. If you need details about what a CBD is, what is hemp, what is a cannabinoid. I mean, I've been doing this for over 30 years and this stuff is so new to me. So we have a free magazine that we're giving out right now. I have about 500 copies. They're going to go fast. But it's called Good Health Magazine, and it has a very detailed article about hemp, cannabinoids, and the whole CBD discussion. So if you come in, we would love to just give you that magazine for free, no purchase necessary. I'm really about education, so we have tons of free literature and books at the store. And next, I want to mention the free book giveaway that I'm doing now. For the last few months, it was about curcumin. Curcumin. This one is about diabetes. So the title is Diabetes is Optional. Absolutely love it. The free book giveaway, we have like 1,000 books, so we should have plenty for a little bit. This book has been received so well. We've been giving it away for about 10 days now, and customers are coming back saying, wow, I really understand diabetes now. Now I understand my blood sugar reports. I understand why, even though they say I don't have diabetes, I still have all the symptoms and I'm not feeling well. And one day I'm high, the next day I'm low. I feel shaky. I feel tired. Then I feel hyper. Blood sugar disorders can really wreak havoc on every system in the body, our brain, our moods, our sleep patterns. So this book is written so well. I mean, I have to admit, I kind of laughed at a few of the parts because it's written in such easy to understand terms that everyone will really understand what's going on in the body. And there's some hard truths in here and kind of getting rid of the myths that are behind diabetes. Diabetes is something other than type 1 that we're born with, is something we give ourselves. That's why it says diabetes is optional. So it's not because your aunt had it and your mother had it or your father had it or your uncle had it. It's because our lifestyle, and that is completely proven. So it is sometimes hard to take the responsibility for that, but the great news is if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, you can definitely reverse it. And getting this free book with no purchase, no obligation, just come in and grab it, would be the beginning to your journey. And we are so receptive to helping people with this condition because, like Cliff just mentioned in my store when he came in to get his CBD the other day, there's a lot of chocolates there. Well, I got peppermint dark chocolate. I got peanut butter milk. Why? Because I love chocolate. And I do have just this craving for sugar that I had to keep under control every hour of every day of my life. Why? Because it's in all of us. Now, some of us have got this under control from years ago, but instead they might be a fan of fried food, like potato chips or wings, or we all have our crutches. For me, it is, chocolate. So, but I keep my blood sugar under control because I've learned the tricks. I've learned the way to balance the sugar with healthy fats and a little bit of protein. So we can teach you the trick. So when you come in, I'm not going to be like, okay, I want you to live in a bubble and never touch a yummy food again. I really work with you with a common sense ways to learn some tricks to still enjoy a glass of wine, a piece of chocolate, a little bowl of pasta, but get your blood sugar under control so it does not control you. Okay, I always call it the sugar monster, and that can
There's no exaggeration either.
It can destroy your life. I have so many people now that my heart just breaks because their wounds will not heal. They get a little cut and it festers into where their ankle looks like it's almost amputated. Their vision is gone and they can't feel their fingers or the bottom of their feet. These are serious issues, and it's coming younger and younger. So please come get this free book so you understand what's happening to you or someone you care about so you can get yourself or them on the right path. And if you're not a big reader, we have a condensed version of the topic in a handout sheet. So you're still, please take the book. But if you want something with just the bullet points, we have that as well. And I want anyone to know if on the bottom of their feet they're experiencing anything, any type of weird sensations that they've never had before, to please get our sheet on neuropathy. You do not have to be diagnosed with it. Okay, you don't have to be diagnosed with diabetes to feel like this might be it. But to take this formula for neuropathy would be completely safe, and why not try it? Because if it is neuropathy, then there you go. You have a solution. If it isn't, then we can work on something else. But those are bullet point sheets and a quick way to feel better and get you going in the right direction. And we have a caller on line 1. Bulldog, good morning.
Good morning, Joanne. How are you?
I'm awesome. How you doing today?
Oh, fine. I figured I'd just change the subject just a little bit to ask your advice. For swelling in my back, for back pain or swelling in general, I take proteolytic enzymes.
Love them. Awesome.
Right. And what I was looking for, is there anything else, or is it a food source that I can consume more of, or how else would you treat it? Because I do not do any medication.
Well, love that. That's awesome. So proteolytic enzymes are one of my favorite things. And I just have a couple questions, okay? How big of a guy are you? Are you average weight, or you have a little extra weight on you?
I'm pretty much average, ma'am.
Okay. So my rule for proteolytic enzymes that some people don't follow only because of the cost is that you're taking almost 15 a day, like 3 times a day on an empty stomach. Have you come to those type of doses yet?
Ma'am, I only take them when my back spasms.
Okay, so you're treating it almost like instead of an aspirin or like a
Right,
pain. Okay.
exactly, ma'am.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then in that case, my favorite one that I usually suggest to go with proteolytics is Curamin because it has nattokinase in there, which is a food source of eating up fibrin or any tissue that's overreacting in your body. So the Curamin basically calms the inflammatory process down. The nattokinase, call it eating up or destroying the fibrin. And your Boswellia, also another anti-inflammatory, and DLPA kind of calm down that nerve pathway to the brain that says that you're feeling uncomfortable.
Is Curamin, that's with a K, is it not?
It's actually with a C, Curamin. And it has always been for about 7 years my number one selling product. All health food stores have it. It's extremely popular. Money back guarantee, 27 clinical studies, 8,000.
Does it reduce swelling?
Yes, that's its number one function.
I'll be darned. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, but I would, because you have this condition, I would consider maybe doing just a few proteolytics every day. Like I take them every day and I don't have pain, but I believe that with all the research, it will not make you ever have that swelled up day. It will keep everything at bay and calm.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm off opioids. And I have an aversion to pills, ma'am.
I understand. So, yes, that's
and
fine.
So
then
I
go with
only
what you
take
know.
them in emergencies.
All right. I totally understand. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling, and thank you for staying on a good health journey.
Yeah, call the show often, too, because he's the type of person that probably responds good to, nutritional supplements.
Well, yeah, he wants to take care of his body and not depend on anything else, and that's wonderful. The body can do it.
And thank you for counting, Cliff.
Oh,
yeah, he's a pro. He passed the counting test.
Did you come out of it all right?
Did you wake up? Yes, he woke up. He dialed the phone.
I snapped my finger, so you had to wake up, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Boy. Here we go off track. And have an awesome day, Bulldog. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bulldog's a regular on a lot of our shows.
Yes, and I love his attitude. When people have a history of maybe being dependent on something, and they finally get themselves off, they really don't want to open up any bottles. It doesn't matter what store it's from, and I acknowledge that, and I think that's really awesome. I just also find with myself that I always think prevention first. I try to give my body what I know that it needs to, what we call inflammation or stressors on the body. I try to think okay, like for instance, exercise is stress, work and overactive mind or not sleeping properly. Like all these things are stressors that I have a little bit in my life, and some people have other form of stressors. So I give my body little extra tools so that way when those things come in, it fights it more efficiently. So that's all I always suggest is just give your body the best nutrition and the best tools it can to just deal with everyday life. Meditation, journaling, walks on the beach, there's so many great ways to handle stress and anxiety, but I would definitely always do that. All right, so I guess it's break time already, Cliff.
Break time. Oh,
yeah.
Hey, you
so
deserve it.
We're going to go on break, and when we get back, we are going to talk about whole food versus synthetic supplements. So we take a quick break and talk to you soon.
You're listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce. We'll be right back.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic Arcade Building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
But right around the corner at Steel Dealer Days. Right now, pick.
Welcome back to Joanne's World of Nutrition. And if you have any questions about anything that we talked about on this show in the past or the present or maybe the future, give us a call, 340-1590. Once again, here's Joanne Augusto.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for listening this morning. This morning is going to be a little bit about everything. There's some topics that come up at the store that I feel is important to clarify. We get a lot of customers' questions about these things. And I also want to bring up, if you do use the internet, my website, thank you to Matthew, is not only up to date, but it looks really cool. So if you go to joannesnutritionworld.com, it talks about all the features of the store. It has the links to all the things about CBD, and all the things I feature, like the infrared sauna, the ion foot detox. And Cliff, you ready for this one? You can actually book your appointment for your infrared sauna session or your foot detox right on my website.
An infrared sauna session.
Folks, for anyone that knows me, I am so not technologically savvy, can't even say the word to begin with. And now I really have a beautiful website, and you can book your appointments. The infrared sauna, if you have not tried an infrared sauna, you need to come in. I only charge $25 a session or a 10-pack for $200. It is amazing. You feel so good after. The clinical studies, most of them are done on high blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight loss. And I don't say it's an excuse not to, be active and exercise, but let me tell you, it's not just about heating up a box. It's not about the heat of the box. It is about the near, mid, and infrared lighting. So there's details on the website. We have a very detailed information at the store about it. You can come check it out. It's extremely private. It's 30 to 47 minutes, depending on what you choose. It's for the same price. But, oh, my gosh, you feel so good afterwards. You really, really do. So you got to check it out. And then once you get really into the detox mode, you can do both things in one day. We don't allow that in the beginning just because your body needs a little chance because the detoxification that occurs is pretty intense. So you want to start with one or the other, and then you can pair them both. We have a lot of Saturday regulars that will do the sauna and then right afterwards do the foot detox. And they say they feel amazing afterwards, like literally like almost like a new person from a stressful week. Wow. So definitely check that out. So joannesnutritionworld.com, and we have all the links and the info about CBD oil, our featured lines, and our ion foot detox and our infrared sauna. So the CBD oil, like we were discussing earlier, there is the question, like, which brand should I choose? And one says a certain milligram, one has much less, but it says whole spectrum. And then comes the question about, okay, well, what about fish oil? What about multis? What about minerals? What do I get? Isolated nutrients or whole food? I have always believed in whole food supplementation. Some people disagree with me. There are people throughout history that believe in very high, intense dosaging of certain vitamins and minerals. But I worked for a manufacturer for about 9 years, so I've been on all sides of the field. And I do believe, from my understanding, that today's vitamins and minerals, the white crystalline synthetic powders that are made in laboratories, the body does not recognize like it would if it's coming from a food source. There is nothing in nature that has such enhanced amount of milligrams and isolated to be by itself. So try to think what nature provides. Would we ever take, 10,000 milligram of vitamin C? Never. Like, even in nature, the most awesome superfood might have 40 milligrams of vitamin C, but it's naturally occurring. It's not from genetically modified corn, which is what most vitamin C comes from. So really know what you're buying and what you're taking. I'm not trying to get you nervous about taking supplements, but just take the time. It has to be disclosed on the bottles where the nutrients are coming from. So just start with the basics. Just take a few minutes out of your day, take your supplements, do not look at the front, turn over to the back labels, just like you hopefully do with your food choices, and read the ingredients. Now, all machines need a little bit of help to make a soft gel or a tablet or a capsule. No matter how perfect a company wants to be, they all need things that make these big, huge machines mix the powders, put the powder into a form that you'll swallow it, and keep it stable inside a bottle, especially if it's a glass bottle. So keep that in mind. Perfection, not available at this point, but close to it is. So if you see red coloring, blue coloring, shellac, ingredients that you don't even understand that are too long to pronounce, that's the first clue that maybe that needs to be junked, okay? And it's garbage. The next is if they're isolating one nutrient and they're getting it from a synthetic source. Another reason to consider maybe blending that with a whole food multi. So like in nature, no vitamins or minerals are ever isolated. So that way you can take something more balanced where your body will absorb it better and utilize it better for what you're trying to fix or settle. Like vitamin C has the biggest argument with this conversation because people say, oh, Joanne, I've been using plain ascorbic acid for years. I take really high doses to knock out my cold or, for my immune system if I'm getting attacked of somehow. But today's vitamin C is not what was around 30 years ago. It's a genetically modified corn product, so it is different. It's not the vitamin C from Linus Pauling's days. So I want everyone to understand that I do agree that high intense dosages of C do have merit in some studies, but the vitamin C that we have on our store shelves today is not what he used. So really keep that in mind. The next thing that is calcium. I really hope all my listeners can spread the word that, for instance, we have the highest osteoporosis rates and we take the most isolated calcium. Our bodies were never, ever intended to ingest really extreme doses of calcium by itself, and especially the types that we take. I've been making a joke, but I mean it like sincerely for years and years. It's like licking the sidewalk. You would never absorb that material. It was never intended for human use. But most companies use very cheap, inexpensive sources and can still legally call it calcium. So one thing I am definitely going to promote right now is plant calcium. It is a Garden of Life product. It is so popular. I always sell it with a huge discount and coupons because I want females and males to realize bone mass is critical. Bones are living. They need minerals every day to keep them alkaline, keep them strong. And if you just take one isolated nutrient like calcium, no matter what the fancy label promises, it's not true. It's not, and it's not going to help you. But if you take something that's plant source that has all the cofactors of bone in it, like magnesium, K, D3, manganese, silica, and on, it will be looked at like food and nourishment and a tool for your body to give the bones what it needs. And if it doesn't, then you are going to excrete it out. You're not going to be causing kidney stones, gallbladder stones, and all these horrible issues that go with isolating minerals. The only exception that I found that I personally would ever isolate a mineral is magnesium, because I choose ionized magnesium, which I feel is much more absorbable than the pill of magnesium. So if you do the plant calcium, you are not going to have to worry that your bones are going to try to give its alkalinity to your blood when you eat an acidic diet as well. Actually, I'm going to cover that in more detail to explain that. But the plant calcium, I've had 3 customers, and 2 of them happen to be nurses that always test for their osteoporosis. And one of them was, she went from osteoporosis to pre, and then the other one had pre, and it reversed it completely, and now she's out of the danger zone. So those were their personal testimonials that they shared with me. And that was after, ready for this, only 2 boxes. So that means 2 months.
Well,
So-
the grocery store calcium supplements are nothing more than school board chalk. You know, you want a calcium supplement that your body can break down. You got to see Joanne, because she can tell you what you need with the calcium, because calcium alone is not going to do it, right?
No, it's the bones are just, they need everything. The bones, I mean, they need even more, just like Cal Mag or Cal Mag Zinc. Like, everyone keeps just adding one more nutrient, but bones need everything. They need exercise. Your bones wake up and take in nutrients when they're needed. So if you're not exercising or being active, your bones get weaker just from that alone, because it doesn't know that you really need them. So even just doing like little wall, what I call like wall push-ups, just tell your bone, I love you, I need you, wake up, take some minerals in. But unfortunately, a lot of our diet is an acidic diet. So in nature, pretty much all the things we really consume are acidic. Some have higher acidity than others, because vegetables are really the only truly alkalizing things. There's some fruits that are an exception, but mainly vegetables. So when you're consuming mostly from the acidic side, your body cannot survive in that acid mode. So it seeks to have a neutral pH in the blood. So how does it get back to neutral? It robs from your bones. Your bones are an amazing alkaline mineral source for your blood. So it says, oh, there it is. I can't survive with this acidic blood. I'll die. So let me just take it from the bones and buffer it. And that's why I always, when people disagree with that, because they're like, oh, I would know if my bones, no. Well, unfortunately, you don't, other than all of a sudden you hear that someone slipped in the shower and their hips disintegrated, and a few weeks later, unfortunately, they might even pass because of all the complications that go along with brittle bones or bones that are breaking. So keep your bones strong. If you choose to take minerals, which I hope you do, because our soil's deficient, our food's deficient in minerals. Minerals are a catalyst for life. They help us sleep, they help us grow, they help our good bacteria, they help our enzyme activity. Get minerals that are natural, not isolated, and non-synthetic. Okay? And like at Garden of Life, I do 20% off every day, and I offer lots of coupons, so I really try to keep that price point low. So there we go. All right, so the next conversation I have probably 20 times a day is about probiotics. Probiotics are an awesome supplement. But just like everything else, when things get popular and doctors start suggesting things, now it's gone from just a few percent of the population consuming it to a higher percent. So everyone wants to start making money. And the money game can lead to, unfortunately, products that really don't provide a benefit. So I am going to mention, without mentioning specific brands, yogurt. So if you go into the dairy section of the supermarket, you will see lots of products that say, with good bacteria, now enhanced with probiotics. I can tell you, I have researched every single one that's on the supermarket shelf, and that's including the kefir. Okay, everyone thinks kefir is so healthy from the supermarket. But the supermarket kefir is full of so much sugar. Okay, so there are a few exceptions if you shop at stores that are more gourmet or health food like. They have a couple kefir options that are non-sweetened. But if it will totally destroy your objective if you're taking something to consume a probiotic and it's full of sugar that feeds you bad bacteria and lowers your immune response. So don't get into that marketing trapped world of where that label looks so pretty and shows all these really cool looking microorganisms that are going to help heal your gut, and you just drink it every day. Those type of bacteria are not the most beneficial for you, and they will not give you what you're looking for. And then a month after, you're going to say, well, this stuff didn't help me. This didn't give me all the things that it promised. And that's only because it was marketing. It was false promises. So when you buy your probiotic, you want to make sure it's human strains, strains that we actually have in our guts. You want to make sure that it has more than one strain, again, to keep things in balance. We can only identify, I think it might be around 40 at this point, maybe a few more, but some of the bacteria we can't stabilize to form a supplement. But our gut has hundreds of different bacteria and billions of them live in there. So if we think we're going to just take one and fix our immune system, our gut health, our bowel health, our everything health, we are definitely being misled. So we need more than a few strains. Most of mine are 11 to 35 strains, my supplements for probiotics. So you want to do that. You want to try to buy ones that are kept cold or in special bottles. Again, to give Garden of Life a unique plug, they have a really cool bottle that keeps moisture away from the bacteria, because once moisture hits bacteria, it thinks it's alive, it starts wanting a food source, and it will die if it doesn't have a food source. So probiotics, just like minerals, should be in everyone's nutrition plan. Before you buy a multi, before you buy an energy supplement, before you buy a sleep supplement, before you buy a pain supplement, please consider getting a probiotic. You have to give your body the basics first before you start worrying about the symptoms of your body. Because if you give it the basics, it starts fixing itself. It starts doing the things it was meant to do. Most cultures have food that offers this good bacteria naturally, but unfortunately here we have kind of left a lot of our traditional food to the side, so we don't eat anything that has great cultures in it anymore. I mean, sometimes we'll get a little sauerkraut on 4th of July over our hot dogs, but that is not going to cut it. We need to add more foods with cultures in it. So like I mentioned natto earlier, it tastes really bad, but great for good cultures. Kefir, if it's unsweetened, kombucha, fermented kimchi. So there are foods that can give you the cultures, but probiotics do make life a little easier, and I'm definitely want to encourage you to take them. Just please do a little research and find the right one, and don't go by what it promises, because a lot of times they use research about probiotics in general to make those statements. Make sure it has multi-strain, no junk added. Most liquids, they're adding a lot of sweetener or color to make it look good and taste good. So please try to stick to either a powder or a pill form. And phenomenal for kids. Our kids are up against so much stuff with all the processed food and sugar and the food that's offered to them in the school system. So really probiotics are great. I really need to kind of comment here that my 14-year-old and 8.5-year-old never have done antibiotics, and one of the reasons I believe is because ever since I've breastfed, I always have given them probiotics. And so I really strongly suggest you consider that in your plan. So that's the whole probiotic discussion. All right, so let's see. What was the next thing? Okay, the next thing is apple cider vinegar. So apple cider vinegar is a huge seller for me. I sell so much of it. It's phenomenal for everything. Acne, indigestion, toxicity. You can use it externally, internally. You can do it for a hair rinse. You can clean with it. It's phenomenal. But you really want to make sure that your apple cider vinegar has a strong amount of the mother on the bottom. That's that really gooky, yucky stuff. We are so programmed to buy things that look pretty. You know, it's like fancier labels, you know, clear. But if you, like, for instance, someone said to me, oh, I couldn't drink that Bragg stuff, so I just bought the plain vinegar because I didn't like the murky stuff that was in it. You will cause your body harm if you do that. You're basically making your body get more acidic. And like I mentioned earlier, acid welcomes disease. Acid welcomes brittle bones. Acid is not good for us. We want to stay more neutral towards the alkaline balance. So if the apple cider vinegar you're buying doesn't have that webby, gross looking stuff in it called the mother, then you are not getting the benefits that you read about on the internet. I know on social media it says 101 uses for apple cider vinegar. They are all true as long as the mother is present. I love it. It's great for cooking, marinating, just taking shots of it. So you want to consider getting the real stuff, okay? And everyone has Bragg's apple cider vinegar. All right, so let's see. The next topic is acid reflux. That, I would say, probably epidemic style now. And next week's show, I am going to cover it in detail. But I had one of the customers that came into my store before opening this morning, literally just came from having breakfast, and he was suffering so bad. And if you've ever suffered really bad from heartburn or acid reflux, some people say it's extremely similar to the feeling that they're having a heart attack. And I can't imagine how difficult that would be to have, you know, right before you're heading to work, all of a sudden you're not sure if you're having indigestion or a heart attack. That has to be an extremely scary feeling. So at my store, I just want everyone to know I have very affordable things that you can use on a daily basis to help you naturally without any harmful side effects. Okay, that's the whole thing here. You want to get relief without harmful side effects, no toxicity to your liver or your kidneys or any other system. So a program for acid reflux would simply be waking up in the morning and taking straight aloe vera juice. And then right after the aloe vera juice, you're going to do a product called DGL. I keep a tester right on my counter. It tastes really good. It has a licorice flavor, a caramel flavor, a chocolate flavor. It's deglycerized licorice. It does not affect blood pressure. It just soothes the mucosa lining and helps heal it. So for the acid from the previous day or from the previous 40 years of your life that has caused ulcers or issues with your mucosal lining, it helps heal that damage as well as that's what the aloe does. But it also lowers your cortisol levels. Some people, their indigestion, heartburn, or acid reflux is just caused by the stressors in their life and issues that they're not handling in other ways. So if that is your case, you will love DGL because you can chew on them all day long. It keeps cortisol low. And for anyone that has belly fat is caused, one of the reasons, by excess cortisol levels. So why not? And it's only $14 for a big bottle. And then, of course, you're 10% off. All right, so your aloe, your DGL, and then digestive enzymes with every meal. And we're going to have an extensive show on digestive enzymes. And so digestive enzymes, again, not only does it break down your food so your your digestive system doesn't have to work as hard, but it's just also making sure that nothing's lingering around to ferment and cause you acidic indigestion. Okay, so, and then the probiotics. Okay, so that's the main ones. Next week, I'm going to go over one of my favorite favorite products, Buffer pH. Buffer pH is amazing. It takes a whole show to go over the 20 ingredients that it has in it, the mechanism.
Is that for acid reflux?
Yes, and I had that show, I think like 5 years ago, we did a show on Buffer pH, and do you know, it still sells so well at my store. It's amazing. And again, it's homeopathic, totally safe, great for stress, heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux. And really any gastric issue, any IBS, Crohn's, any intestinal or digestive issue, Buffer pH is amazing for. But it has so many different homeopathic mechanisms that it takes a lot of time to cover that. So if you are suffering, please come into the store, check things out. We have tons of reading material there, free books to give away. We have chairs that you can sit and read. We welcome your time with us, and thank you so much for listening, and have a great week and have a great Memorial Day. Get out and try not to overdo it on bad, unhealthy food, everybody. Thanks so much.
Yeah, don't let the holiday mess you up. You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition. Next week, acid reflux on Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World. Located in downtown Fort Pierce on US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, directly across from Fort Pierce City Hall. In the historic arcade building. How delightful. Tune in for Joanne's World of Nutrition every Thursday morning on the 10 o'clock hour on WPSL and archives at WPSLTV.com.